everyone. I'm glad you joined us today on Autumn is Here. I am your host, Francine Crawford, and I am so glad to be here today. You know, sometimes we talk about so many different things, and we are dealing with so many traditional things. And one of the things that we deal with is taking traditional medicines. And I wanted to make sure that people knew that there were possibly some things that would help with that and some holistic ways. So now we're going to speak to someone who is a herbalist. Her name is Big Keisha. She's an herbalist and she's a caregiver. So we wanted to speak to her and maybe she can give us some things that would help us. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate you coming to share some more information. Some people don't know too much about herbals and things like that. So first, give me a little bit about yourself.
So I am from Newburgh, New York. I have been an athlete my whole life. So that was when it really started. I tore my ACL in my young adult years, but I healed it naturally. And I never got surgery. I just worked out and got into holistic medicine and remedies, if you will. I also have a business called Prayer and Hustle. I started that actually the same year I tore my ACL. Tearing my ACL, I feel like it was God, really changing the trajectory of my life. I started my clothing line, Prayer and Hustle. I started my media platform, Non-Idol, and I started coaching basketball. It was just an amazing year. So ever since that, I just been growing into who God has truly created me to be. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. So you started to get into herbs and things like that because you healed yourself.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm like, if I could heal myself, if my body, our bodies heal themselves,
Right.
So I always gave it that chance. And I don't know, I just never liked medicine ever since I was a child. And even other types of medicine, when you hear the commercials, side effects, this, that, this, that, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
So I just stayed away from it. And then when I got a little older, I would get the common cold. So I would just find different things in the seasoning cabinet, for instance, cumin, cayenne, experiment with stuff like that. And it worked.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you do it for other people also?
I do now. I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I had to experience it for myself.
Oh, okay.
So, yes.
Oh, okay. So what are the benefits that you meant? Like you said, side effects.
Yeah.
We have medicines and they always have certain side effects. So I guess part of using natural herbs is that you don't have any side effects.
Yeah.
So what are other benefits that you could get from that?
Well, holistic remedies, I look at it like this. If our bodies can heal themselves naturally, God has created these herbs that grow straight from the earth to help cure us. What were our ancestors using?
Yeah.
They didn't have traditional medicine. So there's so many benefits. There's so many benefits and little to no side effects, depending on if you are combining it with traditional medicine, which I do not recommend or suggest. But yeah, there's just so many benefits.
Okay. So if you are combining it with traditional medicine, you'll recommend them speak to the doctor first?
Absolutely. Hands down. For sure.
Okay. So what if I asked you something? Because a lot of times we deal with people who, caregivers deal with people who may have dementia or so sometimes they get frustrated, or sometimes they can't sleep and things like that. So what is something that you would recommend for either having them relax or sleep better?
Oh, that's a really good question, because one thing I realized when I first started caregiving last year, and I thank God I was going to therapy as well. And because one thing I didn't realize, my therapist told me that caregivers are the number one, it's the number one industry where people have mental health issues because they're just giving and caring for other people and not really pouring back into themselves.
Right.
And I started feeling it too, within 2 months, but I've kind of felt guilty. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I'm gonna power through, I'm gonna push through. But it's no, my caregiver or my therapist was no, this is normal. It's normal for you to feel this way.
Yes.
So I actually was you know what? You asked me a great question, because we focus on, okay, what can I do for the patient or whoever you're helping, and of course we're going to create that remedy and that plan for you, which I did. But it's like, okay, now what about the caregivers?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about the caregivers and keep helping them not have mental health issues and, prevent that. Yeah. So there are definitely a lot of blends like chamomile for helping to sleep, skull cap, etc. So I do make special blends for sleeping as well. And also I do make blends for, just clarity, just staying clear, staying relaxed and calm and like level headed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So is it hard to attain these things, like to get these things? Because, you go to the stores and you don't know which is really real and not. I mean, we don't even know which is really food or not.
Exactly.
So how do you know, if you say, okay, you need some turmeric, you need some chamomile, whatever, how do you know which is real? Where to get it from? What do you do?
Another great question. Because when I first started getting into it, like I literally, my mom, she lived right in front of a natural store, like an all natural nature store, and I didn't even know. And when, so how I got into it, like fully, like really studying, is I started experiencing depression. But I didn't want to call it depression. I'm like, okay, I feel really sad, but like, God, like, what can I use outside of me? And I was like, okay, there has to be like a natural way. And I found out about like, ashwagandha and other things. So I'm like, where can I get it? So first I would say research, just research like alternatives, alternative ways. For instance, like instead of taking NyQuil because you have a cold to go to sleep, you could literally Google like what is a natural herb I can take, that can knock out my cold. Because NyQuil is just kind of like a temporary thing, and it doesn't fix the root of the problem.
Right.
It's kind of like a band-aid, if you will. Where if you, for instance, I always recommend like cumin because it's usually right in somebody's seasoning cabinet. Take a spoonful of cumin and down it with water, and cumin breaks down the mucous membranes, and that's what keeps the cold within us for real.
Okay.
So it breaks that down and gets rid of it.
Okay,
So
okay.
so I was, first thing was just research, and then I found where I could get it, and then the next thing is like, wow, like this is very inexpensive. Like people are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on medicine, and sometimes they go without the medicine. We hear a lot of people that can't get medicine anymore because of either their insurance or they just don't have the money for it.
Right.
And holistic remedies and herbs, what? It's so inexpensive. Yeah, very, very affordable. That's another thing.
Yeah, that is absolutely a great point. That it's inexpensive, and also the point about people not being able to afford certain medicines and having to choose. And this way they can find maybe a holistic way to approach it. Now, we're not saying to not take your medicine or not ask your doctor. We want you to ask your doctor, especially if you're going to do this. But if the case comes where you don't have the money or you don't have the means or you just want to sleep that night or whatever, look it up and maybe some herbal things will help you. So, so that's great. That's great.
And another thing I would say too is because people could feel so helpless and out of control, especially they're like, I don't have the money for this. Like my insurance can't cover it now.
Now they're stressed.
Now they just feel like it's out of my control. Like I can't do anything about it. And the thing I really love about, one of the things I really love about holistic remedies and educating people on this is you have the power. It's like, it's empowering, it's like now taking your life back into your own hands, if you will, because this is what God has given us for real. Like, for instance, we grew up dandelions, right? We're like, oh, that's a weed. Like we either pick them or just play with them. That dandelions are one of the most healing plants. Like what?
Okay.
And we were taught that they were weeds and like, oh,
No
nothing.
nothing.
No, they're so powerful. They're so powerful.
That's amazing, because then you have to realize that we do overlook stuff, but God made everything that has a purpose for us, so we should use that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, so that's wonderful. So because you are into herbalists and stuff like that, and apparently your friend knew this,
Yes.
right? So he needed some help, and you were able to give him some help. So talk to us about you being a caregiver.
Yeah. So one of my very good friends, and this is a man who played professional basketball. So, always in tip top shape because he had to, and just really strong, really powerful. And, you know, sometimes in life we just don't know why things happen, but this happened, unfortunately, and he's a very strong man, and he got through it. And he was able to battle it. So going into recovery, he wanted to go the holistic way.
Okay.
Because going the traditional way, of the chemotherapy, it really broke his body down. Like really broke his body all the way down. So to me, it was like alignment. It was like timing, like God's timing, because I had just resigned from being a teacher. I was a teacher last year. I was living in Atlanta. And I was like, you know what? I want to focus fully on my healing vibes tea. Like I want to focus fully on like creating these herbal blends, my tea company, because I know this is something that people really need, and I just really want to help people. So I resigned, and then maybe a couple weeks later, I got a call from him, and he already knew like I was doing this, I was studying, etc. So he asked for my help. He was like, Keisha, can you help me, just regain my strength, regain my power in the most natural, holistic way? And I was like, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how is he doing now?
He is 15% better, and it's only been like, what, 8 months?
Okay.
I got him. I used to be a personal trainer as well. So,
Okay.
got him into doing physical therapy, creating cleanses, blends, etc. So he's doing a lot better, like a lot better.
Okay. So what is your experience being a caregiver? Because every caregiver is different, but there are also always some challenges with caregivers. So
Yeah.
what is your challenges?
I think my challenge would be, and I wouldn't even say it's like a challenge, because thank God I was going to therapy and like realized it like early on. It's just that it's balancing for my, like, taking care of myself. Because at first I'm like, I just wanted to focus in. I would wake up like, okay, what do I got to do? Instead of, usually you got to wake up, give time to God, spend time with God, spend time for myself. I wouldn't do that. I'm go, 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 go. And I started getting burned out. So, I just started getting irritated faster. I'm like, okay, this is not me. This is not me. So I created blends for myself to stay relaxed, stay clear, level-headed, and for energy, like natural energy, and also implement like exercise back into my routine, etc. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. And so being a caregiver, it was unexpected.
Very unexpected. Never ever would have thought I would be doing this. Never even thought I'd be living back in Brooklyn. Like,
Oh, okay.
but I'm so happy.
Okay. See, that's one of the things sometimes when you don't know when you're going to be a caregiver, and everybody always thinks it's going to be their parent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like with you, it's a friend who needed your help.
Yeah.
They needed you to do some of the herbalistic things that you do and the natural things to get them back together. I'm so glad that he's doing better, he's stronger and everything like that. So that's really good.
Yeah.
So what would you tell someone who was teetering on, possibly they don't know so much about the holistic route, and we're so traditional and things like that, and you hear so many things out there. It's like, eat this, don't eat that, eat this, don't eat that. It's crazy. What would you suggest to them?
First and foremost, educate yourself. Knowledge is power. And if they are, teetering, if they are taking traditional medicine, see what it's, only what it's really doing for you, like in your body. Like your doctor could tell you, like, this is what it will do for you. But I would just say, sit with yourself and just see, like, write down, like, log it, like, test it out for like a month or 2 months, and educate yourself on alternatives to that particular medicine and what you're taking that medicine for, and start to wean yourself off of it. Again, ask your doctor. But that's what I would suggest. But number one, educate yourself, because knowledge is power, right?
How did we get any of your products?
You can contact me directly. I'm still studying. because I just want to. There's always something new to learn,
Right,
always
right.
something more to learn. But I can be contacted directly. I do make I'm more so right now doing personalized plans for people.
Okay.
Like I've done plans for like my friends who have fibroids,
Okay.
and of course, my friend who I'm helping out, etc. So you can definitely contact me directly.
How?
Um, so
Is it Instagram? Is it social media? Is it, how would you like us to contact?
so you can do, I would say email.
Okay.
Yeah, healingvibestea@gmail. And if you do want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at healingvibestea. That's where I'm really putting education. I'm focusing on educating right now.
Okay. Okay.
So just teaching people about plants. Like right now I'm doing a series called 50 Plants That Heal.
Ah.
So it's like plants that you just never would have thought of, and saying all like the benefits and also how to make a tea out of it. So, and if you ever want to get the herbs directly from me, I can absolutely, do that for you as well.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, great, great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your information. So often, like, holistic has not been in our natural vocabulary for years. And then when something is foreign to you, people tend not to bother with it. You know what I mean? So I wanted to get something where people would at least hear the word, try to realize that it's something that they can incorporate into their lives if they wanted to, and things like that. And it would be something that might be able to help them also.
Yeah,
Yeah. So give people choices. I believe in giving people choices.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Please listen and watch Autumn is Here podcast on all social media platforms.